HMRC threatened this couple with 15 years of tax and penalties. They ended up paying zero in penalties on every single year, and one of them actually got money back. The gap between what HMRC opened with and what was actually owed is one of the biggest I've seen. Let me show you how that reversal happened. I'm Saman Anwar, an ex-HMRC tax inspector. I've also worked at two of the largest UK accountancy firms in Mazars and BDO. Now I use that experience to help landlords, business owners and directors deal with HMRC properly before things escalate. If you're a landlord who's ever felt behind on this one's for you. Here's the situation. A married couple, both in full-time employment, and between them over a 20-year period let out 6 rental properties. Neither of them had ever filed a tax return. But, and this matters, it wasn't evasion. For most of those 20 years, as we found out, the properties were genuinely making losses. Once you accounted for the mortgage interest, repairs, empty periods, and no tenants paying rent, they believed reasonably that there was nothing to declare, because for years there actually wasn't. It was only recently that the property started turning a real profit, and they didn't realize that profit had tax consequences until a letter from HMRC landed on the mat and redid the calculations. Let me ask you something. If you genuinely believed you were losing money on a property, you had less coming in than going out, would it even occur to you that you may have taxable profit and tax to pay? For most people, honestly, the answer is no. And that instinct is where this case turns. Keep watching. The letter they received is what HMRC calls its one-to-many approach. In the profession, we call it nudge letters. They received it as part of the Let Property campaign, HMRC's targeted push at landlords with undeclared rental income. It's been running for 10 years and it's their most fruitful campaign. This letter is not an accusation, it's a prompt. HMRC is effectively saying, we think you might have something to tell us, so tell us. And what this couple did next is the reason the whole thing went the way it did. The moment they received the letter, they decided to get professional help, and they went straight to a voluntary disclosure under the Let Property campaign, covering the entire rental history all the way back to the early 2000s. No delay, no resistance, and no trying to hide the historic years. I want to be clear about something, because I've seen this from the inside. A nudge letter is not the same as an investigation or a compliance check. It's an invitation by HMRC to you to sort out on easier terms before HMRC decides to come at it the hard way. The people who ignore nudge letters are the ones who end up in real trouble. And usually they're the ones who end up paying far more than they could have otherwise. Let me quickly explain the Let Property campaign, because a lot of landlords have never heard of it. It's a disclosure route specifically for residential landlords who haven't declared rental income. You come forward, tell HMRC what you owe and settle it. Usually with lower penalties than if HMRC had come and found you first. It's HMRC handing you the door marked the easy way. The Let Property campaign is that door. Now, this is where you might expect me to tell you that it all went smoothly. It didn't. HMRC pushed back hard. They rejected the disclosure, they refused to accept the reasonable excuse, and they threatened to assess every year going back to 2010. That's more than 15 years. And they were doing it using their higher estimated figures instead of the couple's actual numbers we had produced. That was the HMRC opening position. 15 plus years, estimated upwards, with a penalty attached to every single year. If you received that letter with no help behind you, you'd think it was over. It wasn't. That was the opening move, not the final word. I want you to listen to this part very carefully. HMRC's first position is almost never the last position. The estimated assessment is a pressure tactic. It's designed to make you fold and accept a number. And the only thing that moves it is evidence and pushing back hard, not panic. So we held firm through months of correspondence. The reasonable excuse rested on two pillars. One, a genuine, provable belief that the properties were loss-making, backed by real numbers, the vacant periods, the mortgage cost, and the repairs that wiped out the rent. Number two, the human reality of what was happening in that household. Because while all this was going on, the husband was diagnosed with cancer. He lost a tenth of his body weight before the diagnosis. Then followed intensive chemotherapy and lots of months spent in hospital. He didn't fully regain his health until late 2023. And to top it all off, just before he fell ill, his elderly father had to move in for care. Once the cancer hit, he could no longer be that carer. Unfortunately, his father passed away while he was still undergoing his own treatment, and he wasn't able to be there at the end. That is why nothing was corrected sooner, and every part of it was evidence. Medical records, death certificate, and bank statements showing the real loss-making years. We resubmitted revised offers. We rebutted HMRC's estimates directly with actual evidence, and we did not let the estimated assessments stand. And here's how it ended. HMRC backed down from the 15-year threat completely. For both spouses, everything before 2021 was confirmed as out of time, protected on the reasonable excuse grounds, which means HMRC only have a 4-year assessment time limit. In real terms, HMRC could only pursue tax years 2020-21 and 21-22. Penalty on both spouses was nil, not reduced, but nil. The tax and interest match what they'd already paid on account based on our advice. And one of them actually ended up with a credit refund owed back to them. So think about the journey here. HMRC opened with 15 plus years of estimated assessments and 20 to 30% penalties on every single one of them. And it ended with just 2 years, real figures, and not a single penny in penalties. 2 decades of undeclared rental income protected based on the facts. Here's 3 things to take from this case study. 1. HMRC's first letter is not the final word. They opened with 15 years and their own inflated numbers. That is a starting position designed to make you cave. Don't treat it as the verdict. Treat it as the opening move. Number 2, reasonable excuse has to be proven, not just claimed. Medical records, a death certificate, real bank statements, every fact in that excuse we raised had documentary backing, and that's the only reason it held. A story on its own would have been dismissed. 3. Disclose immediately and disclose in full. My clients went straight to a full disclosure the moment that letter arrived. No delay, no hiding older years. That open, cooperative response is what made the reasonable excuse credible in the first place. This couple weren't tax dodgers. They were 2 working people who thought they were losing money, because for years they actually were, and all the while going through the hardest chapter of their lives. HMRC responded to the disclosure by threatening 15 years of penalties. My clients paid 0. If you're a landlord and you've had a nudge letter, or you know you're behind and you're dreading that post, please don't panic and please don't ignore it. The gap between HMRC's opening threat and what's actually owed can be enormous. But closing that gap takes evidence handled properly and early. If that's you, deal with it while coming forward is still your choice, not HMRC's. If you'd like to have a confidential chat about your circumstances, my Calendly is in the description below.